A new direction on a Mexican tour bus. World travel illustrates the meaning of life, to put yourself through a journey and come out transformed, having faced something new and out of your element. I grew up in a worldly atmosphere and saw at a young age the transformation traveling can do to a person. I always wanted to visit Mexico as a child, as I had been fascinated with the culture. This past summer my family finally decided to vacation in Mexico, yet we were unprepared for the factuality that it is a different country. What was expected to be a relaxing beach vacation soon turned into a not-so-shallow experience. Upon arrival in Mexico, there was a subtle surprise of its foreign atmosphere. There was a lot of premonitory warning of the foreign country with its stereotypes. There were people sleeping on the job in the airport, and there were so many excessive workers. The ATM was out of order, so we were still without pesos. The Spanish language-filled foreign ambience gave me immense appreciation for how orderly places are back home. Prior to the trip, we knew we had to visit Chichen Itza, one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Once we arrived at Chichen Itza, we had to navigate through all of the vendors with piles of hats. They were trying to sell us some protection from the sweltering sun. After being herded like cattle with the rest of our group through the somewhat dingy gates, we were in. We entered another path of vendors trying to sell us the same things we had seen dozens of times before. The same ponchos, the same mini sombreros, the same Lady Guadalupe figurines, the same inelegant souvenirs. When we finally invaded the path of vendors, the incredible pyramids stared at us, giant white against the gorgeous blue sky. It was unreal to see this primeval wonder that we had seen in magazines and on the Travel Channel so many times before. It was finally in front of us, and within our reach, the Mayan ruins. The impression the ruins made was indelible. It was impossible to stop taking pictures, as each was so gorgeous with so little effort. The scene was far from anything seen in back home. The day was not yet finished, because we visited a cenote, a natural underground pool. It was formed when a meteor hit, which created a cave with a deep pool at the bottom. After descending many flights of stairs, we entered the arena of the water, with sunspots shining through the vines. You could see fish through the far from clear water. It was debatable if it was safe, but we did as the rest of the people did, and plunged into the icy water filled with mystique. We had learned to trust, after being initially cautious. The 2.5-hour bus ride back was unlike any prior experience. The bus rocked side to side the whole way, making us all a little motion sick. It was a struggle to decipher the guide's information and incredible stories through the constant switching between languages. Although everyone else was asleep, it was impossible for me to sleep and close my eyes to the incredible world speeding by out the window. We practically traveled through a third-world country returning from the Mayan ruins. As we drove through police gates, always there were guards with large guns checking cars. The giant red Coca-Cola signs painted over the walls of every restaurant building, bringing color to the scene. The skinniest dogs I've ever seen were weaving through the people, wearing tattered, worn clothes. Then, at some points, some really primitive housing appeared in the forest-like surroundings. It reminded me and reinforced my desire to work with these people and get to know them. I saw it, I was changed, and planned to change to my future. I wanted to hear their stories, so different from mine, and learn from them. Their environment drew me in and made me want to explore their way of life that's so far from how I grew up and was accustomed to living. It intrigued me to explore more of what is so different from me and find the similarities. This day changed me, and it was only the beginning of our adventure in Mexico. Everything we did that day was a life-changing experience in itself. I was able to see and experience a part of life so different from my own, and what people around me live every day. It broadened my horizons seeing such a divergence from everyday life.